Happy New Year, everyone. 2025 has arrived, and we have a ton of great new movies, or hopefully great new movies coming our way in this next calendar year. And I want to go over some of the movies that I'm really looking forward to or really anticipating. So let's get into my list. So, how's it going, everyone? I'm Mike, and today, as I said, we're going to go over my most anticipated movies of 2025. This calendar year is packed with movies, so I'm hoping that the majority of these are not huge disappointments like some of them last year now in 2024. So let's go ahead and dive into my list. And as always, you guys can go ahead and share your most anticipated list down below in the comments section. What movies are you looking forward to? What movies are you not looking forward to? Everything in between. And let's get into this. First one I want to talk about is Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, this was announced, I want to say it was either last year or in 2023 after Dominion did really well at the box office. Not financially, not like critically, but a lot of people, the audience kind of enjoyed it for them, like minority of the audience kind of enjoyed it. And then the box office, made over $1 billion. So it showed there, so they're obviously bringing them back. Yeah, we have Scarlett Johansson in here, Rupert Friend, and Mahershala Ali, and Gareth Edwards is directing this one. So this should be a decent time. I'm hoping at least. I love Gareth Edwards, so anything that he brings onto the table, I'm looking forward to. So yeah, this definitely is worth talking about in my opinion. Next one up, I want to talk about Final Destination Bloodlines. Now, I'm not by any means a super fan of the Final Destination movies. I really enjoy 1, 2, 5, and 3 for the most part. 4 is a disaster, but I can have fun with all of the others. And Bloodlines is supposed to be the 6th film and is the final role that Tony Todd was ever a part of. So I love Tony Todd, and may he rest in peace, obviously. I made a little tribute video a couple months back if you guys want to go check that out. But I loved him as an actor. I think he's an excellent actor, and I am so crushed that this is his final role, but I'm glad he's coming back as one of his most iconic roles with William Bloodworth. So I'm obviously looking forward to it. And then the next one that I have is Insidious Chapter 6, which is, it's been titled a couple different things that I've seen, so it's like Insidious The Bleeding World here on Letterboxd. But this one, it's kind of weird to come across because some, like I said, some sources have it labeled as Insidious Chapter 6. Some have it as Insidious: The Bleeding World or something like that. I'm not really sure if that is an official title or not. But this film was announced after Insidious 5: The Red Door came out, which I don't think is a good movie. And I really hope they're not continuing with the Lambert family because I think they've kind of run that well dry. And this one, I mean, this is going to be on a minuscule budget, obviously, because the last couple have been really tiny. They've been successful because, something like The Red Door only had a $16 million budget, and it made $100 million because the fan base was there for it. So, I'm going in skeptical for this one, but I'm hoping it's a good time. Really, other than that, I could care less about this movie, honestly, because I really like the first one and I enjoy the second one. The rest of the movies I don't really give a shit about. But yeah, I'm hoping Insidious Chapter 6 is a decent time. Next one up is The Conjuring Last Rites. Now, I believe this is supposed to be the final Conjuring film. I don't know if they're continuing like with the spin-off series or whatnot, but this is supposed to be the last one, supposedly, about Ed and Lorraine Warren. So it's going to be the final one, supposedly, like I said, with Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. And this one is directed by the person who made the last Conjuring film. So The Devil Made Me Do It, and then also the guy who directed The Nun 2 and The Curse of La Llorona, which I don't think are great films particularly, but the mainline Conjuring films I think are fun. I really love the first 2, and 3 is it's a good time. It's just not a great film. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, honestly. So yeah, I hope it's decent. And then the last, like slasher film that's supposed to be coming up here that I'm kind of looking forward to that I'm wanting to talk about in this little segment here, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't know if this is like a remake or just like a reboot, but this is coming out, I believe, in summer at some point. So it says on here it's in July. I'm just hoping it's a good time because I have a really good time with the first one. The rest of them in that trilogy, I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm just keeping fingers crossed that it's a good time. I'm really looking forward to all three of the MCU films coming out this year. Honestly, all three of them look like they're good times. Thunderbolts, that trailer is played in front of most movies that I've watched this past year in the theater, at the tail end of the year at least, and the trailer looks like a lot of fun to me personally, and also I love the song that they use in the background of the trailer. It's kick ass, and then Captain America Brave New World looks like a decent time. I am looking forward to it for sure. I hope it recaptures the Winter Soldier feel to that in that movie. I'm really hoping it does. And then, like I said, the other Marvel film, Fantastic Four, First Steps. This one, it's been in production for quite a while. We didn't know who we were going to get for the cast for a hot minute, just a lot of speculation for the longest time. And then we finally did get our cast, and they were perfect picks. I am so looking forward to them in their roles. It's just, I'm not really particularly sure how they're going to handle the plot, because I heard that Galactus is supposed to be the villain in this, and I don't know if they're going to try and use him as like a one-time villain, or if he's going to be a bigger role in the outside Fantastic Four, like in the mainstream Marvel universe. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I kind of hope it does, and I hope he's not a one-time villain, because he's a huge villain. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the movie nonetheless, though, just to say the least. There's a couple animated movies coming out next year, including the SpongeBob movie, the Search for SquarePants. Sorry. And this one, I mean, I know this one's been in production for a little while, I want to say, and I really enjoyed the first SpongeBob movie. I enjoy all of SpongeBob, really. I had a decent time with the Sponge Out of Water movie, and the Sponge on the Run. It was all right. It didn't offend me as a fan of SpongeBob, but it was weaker end SpongeBob for sure. It wasn't a bad movie by any means, but not one that I would particularly watch over and over again. And the Search for SquarePants, it sounds fun. Honestly, I don't know. It sounds like a fun concept for a SpongeBob movie, and yeah, I think it just looks kind of fun. And then Elio, this is, I believe, the new Pixar film, if I'm not mistaken. And this one has a pretty decent voice cast and a fun concept about, a kid with active imagination coming across aliens. And so, yeah, it could be fun. I'm looking forward to it. There's also Zootopia 2. That looks like a lot of fun. Obviously, I love the first Zootopia. And then, yeah, it's great. And then also there's The Bad Guys 2 and Dogman, both coming from Universal and DreamWorks. I grew up reading the Dogman books and the Bad Guys books, actually, so I am definitely looking forward to both of these, seeing what they can do with these IPs. And then there are 2 Scott Derrickson movies coming out next year. The first of which is The Gorge, and this is about 2 highly trained operatives who are appointed to posts across a vast and very secret gorge. And this stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller, as well as Sigourney Weaver. So I'm looking forward to it. And then the other one is The Black Phone 2, and now this is also being written by C. Robert Cargill, who did the first film as well as Sinister, and I love what he does as a writer. And this is returning the cast supposedly from that first film, so I don't really know what's going to go on in this film. I don't know if they're going to go the prequel route, because the first movie has like a finality to it. I don't know how they're going to continue, but I'm interested to say the least. So there's that. Next up, I wanted to talk about a couple of video game movies that are coming out next year. So obviously, getting the big one out of the way, there's the a Minecraft movie that's coming out, and I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't look very good, but I I'm thinking it could be a fun time. Honestly, I think it could be a decent time. The trailers haven't looked fantastic to say the least, but I'm just hoping it's a good time. That's really all I'm looking for with this movie. And the other video game movie that I'm really looking forward to is the Mortal Kombat 2, the Mortal Kombat 2021 sequel that I actually really enjoyed that movie. I wouldn't really call it a guilty pleasure per se. I'm just a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat universe, so seeing these characters doing what they do, kicking ass like on the big screen in live action is awesome to me. I enjoy the 90s Mortal Kombat movie. I'm not a huge fan of Annihilation. That movie is a disaster, but yeah, I am really looking forward to Mortal Kombat 2. You're adding in Johnny Cage, a bunch of other really fun characters from that universe, and this is supposed to be the actual tournament. Unlike what they did with Mortal Kombat 2021, that was more of just like an adventure movie with the characters from Mortal Kombat. This is supposed to be the tournament, so I'm hoping it's a good time. So I'm really looking forward to it for sure. Also, adding on to comic book, or not comic book movies, video game movies, there is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, I am a huge fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and this just looks like a ton of fun. They're adding in the toy animatronics from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 game, so I don't know if they're going to go with that storyline, if they're going to reincorporate, Matthew Lillard and Josh Hutcherson into the story, but I'm just hoping for a good time. Again, I've really enjoyed the first Five Nights at Freddy's film as a fan of those games, and so I'm hoping they deliver with this one again. Honestly, just as a fan, I'm hoping they do. Next little group of movies I'd like to bring up are a bunch of, like action thriller kind of movies. So the first one up that I'd like to discuss is Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. Now, I am a pretty decent fan of Den of Thieves 1, and this new trailer for Den of Thieves 2 looks like a lot of fun. So I'm hoping it's a good time, just like the first one. I believe it's Gerard Butler. Yep, Gerard Butler's in that one, and he was great in the first one. He's great in a lot of different action movies. He needs to really escape like the pretty generic action thriller, subgenre. But hey, I'm up for it if he's up for it. So I'm looking forward to it. Next one up is directed by Mel Gibson, who is kind of a little shaky figure in Hollywood, but this one is called Flight Risk, and this is about a pilot who is transporting a prisoner to like another prison on a plane, and their co-pilot is I don't really know how to describe it, but like a murder, like a serial killer or something like that, or a hitman, and is supposed to be, trying to kill the prisoner that's on board. So I'm looking forward to it. It sounds like a fun concept, and the trailer was pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to it for sure. Next one up is called Black Bag by Steven Soderbergh, and this stars Kate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender, and is about when his beloved wife Catherine is suspected of betraying the nation, intelligence agent George Woodhouse faces the ultimate test: loyalty to his marriage or his country. And this just sounds like a really cool movie. It's coming out in March, and I love Steven Soderbergh, and the concept sounds fun. I love the cast as well, so I'm hoping it's a good time. Next one up is Guy Ritchie's next film, In the Gray, and it stars Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal, and is about two extraction specialists must plan an escape path for a high-level female negotiator. Sounds cool to me. I love Guy Ritchie's movies, so I'm hoping it's a good time. And then the next one on here is Love Hurts, and this is from Jonathan Eusebio, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's a professional stuntman, so that sounds awesome that you already have that. And this one has Ki Huey Kwan, and it just looks like a lot of fun. The trailer's been out for a little while. It looks like a good movie. Looks like a fun time. Next little group of movie. Well, actually, I think this is just really the only one. But we have the Michael Jackson biopic, just called Michael, directed by Antoine Fuqua. This just looks good. The stills that we've gotten looks good. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I think it looks good. Now there are a ton of horror movies coming out next year. Like I was getting into, we have The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. This stars Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster and Jessie Buckley as the bride. And this just looks and sounds really really cool. That you got Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster. Just sign me up right there. And then The Presence, also another Steven Soderbergh movie, is about a family who moves into a suburban house and becomes convinced they're not alone. It just sounds like a simple concept. Sign me up for it. Next up is Sinners by Ryan Coogler, and this is a vampire movie and directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld. Sign me up. And also, we are getting The Wolfman by Lee Winnell, and this is supposed to be like another, I guess, kind of attempt at this dark universe. But Lee Winnell did another really, really great, like Universal Monster retelling movie a couple years ago with the Invisible Man movie. One of the best of 2020, which is not saying a whole lot because that movie year was kind of shit. Same with the entire year in general. But hey, Wolfman, Lee Winnell, I'm really looking forward to it. And as of right now, we are supposed to get Saw 11. Now, I don't know what's going on with that movie. There's possibilities, there's rumors that it's supposed to get canceled. But as of now, we have a poster, at least a teaser poster, from Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures that could be promising. I don't know. I love Saw X, so if this movie is anything compared to that, it could be another amazing film in the franchise. And the last horror movie I believe that I was going to discuss for this one is The Monkey, which is directed by Osgood Perkins, who directed my favorite film from last year, which is Longlegs. And this just seems like a really, really cool movie. It's a Stephen King novella, I believe, that's being adapted by Osgood Perkins, and it looks really, really gnarly. There's the trailer that's out there now, I believe, that there's a ton of gore on screen, and it looks badass. So I'm looking forward to it. Now getting into the movies that I have way up on the list. The Monkey would definitely be up there for sure, up on my list, but just getting into the other movies that I really am looking forward to. Kicking things off, we have The Running Man, which is a remake of the, I believe this is 1987 film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and this is being directed by Edgar Wright, who is one of my favorite directors, and stars Glenn Powell, which I love him as an actor, so I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, it's a Stephen King story being readapted, and I'm looking forward to it, obviously. Next one is called Ash, which is being directed by Flying Lotus, who did one of the shorts for VHS 99, and is about on the mysterious planet of Ash, Raya awakens to find her crew slaughtered. When a man named Brian arrives to her rescue, an ordeal of psychological and physical terror ensues, while Raya and Brian must decide if they can trust one another to survive. This just sounds really, really cool. It has Aaron Paul in it, who is one of my all-time favorite actors, so I gotta be there day one to see this movie. Next up is Mickey 17, which is being directed by Bong Joon-ho and stars Robert Pattinson. Basically is about a dude that dies for a living. It sounds really freaking weird. The trailers looked batshit insane, but hey, I'm looking forward to it. It looks fun. Honestly, it looks weird as hell, but Bong Joon-ho is really, really good at making weird movies. Next up is Joseph Kosinski's new movie F1 starring Brad Pitt. Now this one, it had a trailer release, I believe, over the last summer, and it looks really really good. At least a teaser trailer was dropped for it. And yeah, sign me up for it. I love racing movies and sports movies in general, and Brad Pitt being a part of it and Joseph Kosinski, sign me up. Next up is Begonia, which is the next film directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, and is supposed to be released toward the end of next year. And I love Yorgos Lanthimos. He directed two of my favorite movies of the last couple years, Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness, and a ton of other really popular films. So yeah, sign me up for this one. I'm not sure what the concept is at all for this movie, but if it's Yorgos Lanthimos and the cast, which has Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, just like in Kinds of Kindness, and I believe in Poor Things as well. So yeah, I'm really really looking forward to it. Next one up is Ballerina from the John Wick universe. So this one, it was supposed to come out last year, I believe. It was supposed to, and then it got pulled and put back just a year, so it's coming out in May of this year now, and is being directed by Len Wiseman, who's a director that I really, really enjoy, and has Ana de Armas in it, and is supposed to take place between, or during the events of John Wick Chapter 3, and is about a ballerina who is training to be an assassin. Sounds fun. And Keanu Reeves is supposed to be in it, so I'm sold. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Next one up, I wanted to also just include Avatar Fire and Ash, which is supposed to be Avatar 3, also being directed by James Cameron, and has the entire cast of the last one, and of the last two movies. And I really, really love the first two films. I think they're both great films in and of their own right. They're both long movies, but the universe is so investing and such like a cool place that I want to explore more of. And I think both of these first two films have done a really, really good job at doing that. But also, I want more. I want even more. And there's supposed to be like a fire tribe in this. It sounds cool. So I'm sold on this one. And then next up I have on here is Tron Ares. And this is being directed by one of the directors of the... Actually, is... Yeah, one of the directors of the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which isn't great, but it has a good cast with Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Evan Peters, and also is having the score done by Nine Inch Nails, which I'm really, really looking forward to. The visuals look as great as the last film, Tron Legacy. So I'm just hoping it's a good time. I really, really am hoping for a good time with this one. Next one up here is Predator Badlands, and now this one is being directed, just like Prey was a couple years ago, by Dan Trachtenberg, who, yeah, I think he's a great director. I love Prey and 10 Cloverfield Lane, which he directed previously, and stars Elle Fanning. Is supposed to take place sometime in the future with Predators, and it just sounds badass. I want more Predator action. Sign me the hell up. And then the next one that I wanted to discuss is, of course, Superman, directed by James Gunn. Trailer came out a while ago, and it looks fantastic. I cannot wait for this film. I know it's a lot of people's most anticipated of next year, so I'm hoping it's a great, great time. Just like Man of Steel, at least. I'm hoping it's up to par with it. It looks so good. Second to last film I wanted to talk about is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Now, this is being directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who did the last 3 Mission Impossible films now, and of course is starring Tom Cruise, and is supposed to be the final film in the franchise. And I'm so looking forward to this movie, man. I love the last couple of films that we've gotten. I love basically the entire franchise. I love all 8 of these, or all 7 of the movies we've already gotten for their own individual reasons. 2 is easily the weakest, but I love the action in that film because it's John Woo, and yeah, I'm just hoping for another fantastic time with this film, and yeah, it's definitely one of my most anticipated. But my most anticipated movie of next year is 28 Years Later. Now, I am a huge fan of 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, Both are fantastic films. And this looks like another fantastic film. This is being directed by Danny Boyle, who did, I believe, both of the last two movies. Oh no, so he did 28 Days Later. He did not do 28 Weeks Later, but he's coming back from doing 28 Days Later to this film. It has me really excited just from that. Has a great cast with Jodie Comer and Aaron Taylor Johnson in the leads, as well as Ralph Fiennes is in this film. And I love the trailer for this one. They had a really creepy poem playing in the background of it that just got my nerves all tensed up from it. And the action looks really great. The makeup and effects for the zombies, or like the infected, looks fantastic. So I cannot wait for 28 Years Later. It is easily my most anticipated film of next year. So thank you guys for watching this video as always, and make sure to comment your most anticipated films of this year now. And yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe before you leave. And Happy New Year, everyone, and hope you guys stay safe and have a great year.